A long time ago, in a land far away, lived a beautiful queen named Victoria Elizabeth Corkwell. Queen Vicky's mother brought her up to believe in love, magic and fairy tales. So one day, Queen Vicky was riding her unicorn, Ella Enchanted, through the land of Pontypool, accompanied by her trusty pet, Tia Maria in boots. As she was riding through Ponty, she came across a frog, and due to her beliefs of magic, she lifted and kissed the frog, hoping it would turn into a prince. However, the frog, named Iestyn, stayed in his original form. Yet Queen Vicky fell heavily pregnant with a beautiful giant called Chiron.
Dun dun dun!
Chiron would grow up to be the guardian of the land, the protector of Pontypool. 4 years passed by, and Vicky came across the same frog, Iestyn. So she thought she would try again. So she lifted and kissed the frog upon his slimy lips. Yet he didn't turn into a prince. However, like the last time, she became deeply pregnant with a gorgeous princess who was to be named Cerys and grow up to be the Cupid of the land.
Hallelujah!
Setting people up and making them fall into a deep spell of love. More years went by, and the queen met the man of her dreams, a young dragon slayer named Sean. He was about 6 foot tall, pretty face but an ugly heart. He was involved with another, an ugly rat called Rapunzel, aka Wally.
Boo!
But before he was to follow his parents' wishes and be with the rat, he was set to have a young child, a prince with Queen Vicky, and the prince would be called Ian, aka Merlin, who was a psychic and had a magical eye with flashing lights to tell you the future. A decade after giving birth to the prince, Queen Vicky made the decision to live the rest of her life without a partner.
Aww.
After becoming a damsel in distress due to one man, a court jester called Angelo, aka Olegna Sknab. He was a fine suitor for the queen, and they shared a lot of deep love. But unfortunately, he shared the age of the giant Chiron, which was strictly forbidden in their land. So the queen decided to pass on the crown to the firstborn, giant Chiron. However, there was a rule. Chiron could not become king until he found someone's hand to take in marriage. So he called upon his beautiful sister and handsome brother to set on the journey of finding a princess for Chiron. Together, Cerys the Cupid and Ian the Merlin would be the perfect pair to find a girl who is said to have been cursed by the evil fairy Beth, aka Maleficent, and cursed to sleep until she finds her true love's kiss. So Chiron, Ian and Cerys set off on their journey to find this mysterious princess known as Sleeping Beauty, aka Glorin. Legend has it, Sleeping Beauty's father, Lawrence, aka the White Knight, guards her chamber in hope that her Prince Charming will awaken his daughter from her everlasting sleep. Our trusty three musketeers started their journey from Pontypool through blistering cold and scorching deserts, travelling for many days and nights, risking life and limb to reach the magical realm known as Cwmbran. Although to get to that realm, they had to endure the Shadowlands, that no human dare go for fear of the dreaded Ian. Every person in any magical land has to have a license to be able to be part of society. Ian was found to not possess such license and was therefore banished to the Shadowlands, tormenting passers-by with his cries for help, which lull people into feeling sorry for him and becoming his shadows forever. Luckily for the musketeers, Ian's magical eye could foresee that Ian was close by, and our musketeers were wise to his cries and didn't fall into his trap, because Ian, aka Merlin, cast a blocking spell that blocked him from being able to see them as they passed through. After the perilous trip through the Shadowlands, they finally arrived in Cwmbran, the magical land that Sleeping Beauty dreamt about her Prince Charming. It was destiny that Prince the Giant Charming's kiss would break the dreaded curse, but not until they found her chamber. They would need the help of her fairy godmother, Oma. So they sang the godmother song to summon her. She came straight away and her wand guided them, but to their surprise, the White Knight wasn't happy to see them. He had challenged many men to free his daughter, to no avail. He needed proof that Chiron was worthy. So while Chiron ponders on how to prove his worth, Ceres the Cupid shoots her love arrow at Lawrence and sends him following his heart to his newly betrothed. Now, with nothing standing in his way, Chiron makes his way up the winding staircase to save his true love, so that he can become king with his queen by his side. He enters the chamber, and Lauren's trusty steed Millie lets him pass. And he kneels beside the bed of Sleeping Beauty, and with his fellow musketeers watching on, he leans in and kisses her, and Cupid's hearts are all around them, as Glorin opens her eyes and finally comes face to face with her one true love. They all travel back to the castle where the queen waited on her unicorn for her family to come back to her, with the White Knight by her side. She was so proud of her children for embarking on this journey, and happy to meet the beautiful Glorin and welcome her to the family. The whole kingdom was excited for the wedding of the soon-to-be king and queen, and the arrival of 21 baby giants Queen Glorin was expecting. They all lived happily ever after.